Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys for coming. So, I don't know, has anyone been to like an AMA before or experienced an AMA on Reddit? I want to give everyone an opportunity to ask questions so then I can answer them based on the experience that I've had on LinkedIn, starting a startup to ATM, starting Muslim professionals, growing it to where it's at now in under 8 to 9 months, or getting into a senior product management role, working under the CEO. All right. So who wants to ask the first question?
Salam Zohaib, can I go first?
Yeah, for sure. Alaikum, Sama.
Hi. So my name's Osama. I'm 22. So I guess I just started my first role at this financial service company and I'm about to hit a year in a month. But I guess my question is, what questions did you ask yourself or what routine did you have to evaluate how you were growing at Setlate?
Yeah. So basically, like one thing I immediately did was, and this is the mentality my mom told me, try not to be friends with people at your level. So don't be friends with your coworkers. Be friends with the managers above you and the managers in the other departments on other teams. It's easier to be friends with the managers on the other teams than your personal manager. So what I would do is, first thing is, I'd be hitting up people on Slack. That's why I started the Slack group. I hate WhatsApp, by the way, but we could talk about that another day. Slack, and I'm DMing people that were not on my team that were in positions of leadership, because then I had a place that I could leverage to get intel on myself, because they're in those meetings with the other leaders talking about all the employees, right? So now I had someone that could tell me, my inside mole, tell me what they're talking about me so I can be ahead of the game. So I knew right off the bat, there was two other managers that were like, Zohaib's asking a bunch of questions that we don't like, or he's being paid too much, yada, yada. I got that intel. Then I was like, I'll make the first move because I want to keep leverage. At the same time, I would also get feedback from these guys. What can I do better to impress my manager? Because my manager's not going to tell me because he's trying to be PC and give an equal playing field. So straight up, I'm hitting up like my co-manager was not my manager, but the guy who would work next to my manager. His name is Amir. He's like, bro, he's not Muslim or whatever, but he's from the Middle East. So I played the Middle East card. I was like, yo, bro, like we're brown. Was good. We became homies. Dude told me every straight up thing that my manager was looking for in an employee. I leveraged that. And then I just kept going up the ranks. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. But I was also asking on I guess a personal thing, how do you define your growth? You set parameters, milestones, or what?
Yeah. I'm not as calculated as like the Silicon Valley bros are, where they have like time cards and all that. But kind of like basketball, is it easier to murk people on the court for me? And that's my threshold. Is it easier for me to cross people up and score more buckets? Right. That's when I know maybe I'm outgrowing the competition here and maybe I should start thinking about moving up. So I equate that to work. Am I finishing work, same 8 hours of work in 4 hours now? Because if I am, I have two choices: go for a more senior role or start my own thing on the side, leverage the 4 hours that I'm working there, pretend like I'm working eight and work on a side hustle, right? Because making wealth is important. It is for the ummah, right? More money we make, the more money we give back to our community via zakat, buying from each other, etc. So that's how I would do my threshold personally. Now everyone's different. Some people have a vision board. So my friend, he has a vision board that helps him work out, set a schedule, know when to switch jobs. For me, like I said, my life is basketball, ball is life. You guys see me talk about the Knicks 24/7, like I'm a fanatic. I am. It's true though. I'm like, yo, if I'm crossing these guys up, I'm pretty sure it's ready for me to move up, right? So hopefully that helps answer that question. You can do a vision board or set goals for yourself. Use ChatGPT now. Literally be like, what does a career trajectory look like for this end position I want? And it'll literally tell you how what your career trajectory is, and then you can just set timelines for yourself. And that's how aggressive you should be. If you're like, yo, in 6 months I want a promotion, and you got to be working like someone who wants a promotion in 6 months. But if you're like 2 years, then you can coast a little bit. It's not. It's up to you on how much you want to work. For me, I like working. It's fun for me because I don't consider it as work. It's like Monopoly. I don't know why. Like this whole WhatsApp group or like Muslim professionals group. I'm like, I love seeing it grow and people get jobs and then everyone making more money. For me, I'm like, oh, we about to take over this damn country. So that's how it is for me. But yeah, anyone else have a question about the precursor dialogue that I had or any follow up question? Sorry, so I'm going to give another chance to someone else. You can also ask in the chat if you don't feel comfortable asking on the mic. The whole point of the session is to ask questions, just as a reminder.
Hi, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have, I don't want to say problem, but how we can turn interviews into offer letters. Just straightforward like that.
So some of the techniques that I use.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. You know, when you go to the car dealership or you walk by the damn AT&T booth at the Costco and they come at you and try to sell you stuff and they're giving you all these crazy deals and offers and stuff. So anyone here sell iPhones or anything in their life? I have. Right, cool. Yeah, there we go. Hyder knows what's up. A big way to sell an iPhone is to understand and get people on a phone plan is to understand what they're looking for in actuality, like finding that little thing in their head that's gonna make them tick, that value proposition, right? So who typically needs an iPhone, right? You look at that person, and you're like, all right, she's got that Louis Vuitton bag, looks pretty new. She's got them earrings and she's got money. All right, cool. She probably wants that latest iPhone, right? She wants, I'm gonna go attack her. All right. That guy right there, look, you observe their whole body and their whatever. Yo, he's got a cracked iPhone. I gotta convince this guy. How am I gonna upsell him an iPhone, not a screen replacement? Because screen replacement's not gonna get me, doesn't get me any commission. It's like an iPhone does. That's how you gotta approach your interviews. It's the value proposition that you're gonna bring the employer. How are you gonna bring them money? Because if you lay out a plan during the interview on how you're going to bring them value, they're going to be like, oh, so I was just in an interview literally before this call. And I knew that what leverage I had was I've been in the industry, the SMS marketing industry, and this is a competitor to the company I was working at. I've been in the SMS industry. I have connects in the SMS industry and I do research in the SMS industry. I knew that, right? I knew that that's what they probably look for because they want someone who's skilled in the space. They say it on every job description. Someone who has industry experience. So you know what I do? I just start spitting out random facts or tidbits of information. Hey, did you know that last week in the SMS world, XYZ came out? And when they don't know something that you're telling them, they're like, oh, this guy knows more than me. I just learned something from him. Yo, he needs to work for me. The same thing with the iPhone story. If you tell them something that they need, but they didn't know that they needed. And then they have that aha moment. They're like, my life was just changed. Like this session right now, I may be spitting some facts that you may have not heard of before. You're like, oh, Zohaib's mad smart. Let me go hit him up. You know what I can do now? I could be like, all right, I'll mentor you for $100 an hour. I could do that if I want to. And then you might pay for it. It's the same thing that an employer, that's how you have to approach an employer. You're a service provider. You're not an employee. You're providing a service. Sell your service. How do you sell them? You got to give the value propositions, right? Deliver value, exceptional value. And the way you do that, you hook them in, right? That's it. It's all sales, baby. That's straight up it. Hang out with the cars, we all make fun of car dealers, ships. We all make fun of people who sell iPhones. We all make fun of salespeople. But yo, literally, even a doctor has to sell himself to the interviewer at a hospital. Straight up. They're not going to hire the guy who just crosses his arms, has zero interaction with the patient, unless they're a hospital. Doctors that make real money are the ones that smile and talk to you and have conversation, or the ones that you like going to. It's because they sell you that service. That's a part of their service package. Sorry, but that's just how it is. So you have to approach your job interviews the same way. I don't even apply with freaking resumes anymore. I don't. You get to that point once you become an industry leader in the space. But you do that by providing value. That's why I post so much content on LinkedIn. That's why I post so much dumb content. I don't like writing those posts, but I just do it because I have to, because I don't want to ever be unemployed. And I want you guys to do the same thing. I'm literally giving you my playbook. I'm going to charge white people like non-Muslims for that. But for Muslims, I ain't going to charge. That's all I'm going to say. But I need you guys to be open to it and do it. That's it. All right. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Also, what would you advise like new grads or entry level people?
Read Ikra.
Mm.
Straight up. Follow the story, life, the problem of some, do what he did. He read. He was told to read. He couldn't read, but he understood, he studied anyways, and memorized. Whatever field you want to go to, memorize. He wanted to be in the field of being the messenger of Allah, right? Memorize, dude. Study. Everyone makes fun of education. Oh, yeah, you don't have to go to school. Okay, great. But you still got to learn. You got to be an expert. That's what Muslims are supposed to be. They have to be smart. Don't be lazy. Netflix is not going to teach you unless, let's say, you want to go into interior design and you're watching interior design shows and you're not watching it for the drama part, selling sunset, but you're actually looking at the little things and writing notes. Great, cool. Keep watching Netflix, bro. But if you're not watching it for that purpose and you're just watching it for being a bum because you had a bad day, you're going to stay a bum. That's just how it is. Straight up. Learn. Follow the life of the Prophet. It's not just prayer. You can find metaphors for every facet of life, relationships, social interactions. And in our context, it's for jobs, right? The perfumes, the saying of you go to the perfume shop, right? You leave smelling like perfume, even if you don't try on the perfume. That is so true. I put myself in a room with smart people. I am the dumbest person in the room. I leave feeling a little bit smarter than I did 5 minutes before I enter that room. Hang out with smarter people than you. Let go of your damn ego. When you go into an interview, you come in with that energy that, yo, I've been studying this space. I know it. And you prove it to them with facts. Pull out that bibliography, yo. This is the story. Did you read that article in New York Times about blah, blah, blah? They're going to be like, oh, I'm telling you, it's going to work. Try your next interview. Come in with that energy. That's it. I just got a question from Hina. If you've ever had two jobs, how would you manage? My wife just yelled out, yes, he has. Okay. Yes, I've had up to 3 to 4 jobs I'm looking for. It was crazy. Alright, so what I did was basically made my full-time job, whatever my full-time job was that paid the bills, the insurance, I made sure that it wasn't a job that had a ton of meetings. It was more self-service. Now I took pay cuts to do that so I can work on my side hustles. The reason why I did that was I was like, all right, my goal is to make 150,000 this year. As long as I'm making 100K for my full-time job, I'm going to take whatever is like less meetings, but it's more like you'll just get the job done. So that's why I went into product management because it was get the job done, right? I used to be in sales, CS, success. I was on calls every 5 minutes. Dude, it was not sustainable. So what I did was I changed jobs, took a pay cut to work on my side hustle. Once I got my side hustle on the ground while working this full-time job, then I hired employees, then they start managing it. Then I was like, all right, let me try something else. And then that's where Muslim Professional started. Now I don't make money off this thing, but I consider it as a job, right? Because I'm putting in that work. I'm developing a website. I never developed a website in my life. I'm on YouTube studying and all that. So that's how I would do it. I would think of what are your necessary things that you need in terms of your livelihood. How much money do you need to survive? And I've got a job pertaining to that. So then you can work on that passion project of yours. Does that answer your question? You can DM me if it's more comfortable.
Yeah, it does. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. So I just got a question from Sadia. Can you explain a little bit more about your CX experience and how you went about your interviews? Yes. All right. So CS, the whole concept of CS, customer success or support, every company interchanges it, but essentially it's a support success type role where you work in the revenue team at a company where you're working not only in customer satisfaction, but you're working in upsells as well. Success, making sure the customer is constantly improving on the platform so you retain them as a customer, right? Now, a receptionist in a hospital or a doctor's office would actually be a part of the customer success team, right? The follow-up appointments, calling up and checking up, etc. So for the medicine people here, that's how I would equate it to. For the tech people here, it's the person who's following up, setting up, checking calls, and making sure you're using the platform to the best of your capability. What do you need for someone to be a successful customer success manager? Does anyone know or have an idea? You can say in the chat if you want. If you don't, I'm going to give you guys a minute. If you guys don't, all right. Basically, what you need is you need charisma, right? That's one. You need to be able to ask questions, two, and you guys need to have the ability to understand and acknowledge. It's like you're like a mini therapist, right? I don't want it to mean a therapist job because it's very hard to be a therapist, but you're like following some of the practices that a therapist has to do, which is acknowledge and align with the patient. You have to understand where they're coming from. You're not going to know exactly where they're coming from, but you have to understand it. So then that's the first step to finding a solution. So when I go into interviews, that's actually the analogy that I bring in. I'm like, yo, I don't say yo, but I'm like, hey, the way that I approach any sort of customer interaction is I follow this approach here, where first, I approach the customer with a friendly hello. I acknowledge what this customer is coming in for and having this conversation for. I align with that customer and then I assure them whether I might not find the answer right away, but I assure them that, yo, we will find a solution together. Acknowledge, align, assure. 3 A's. Simple. You come in with that, they're going to be like, damn, this guy, he's got a damn acronym for this. And that's how I would approach my interviews. And bro, I've never not got a job when I used analogies, acronyms, and industry standard tactics, right? ChatGPT, straight up to search up what are industry best practices that I can say for this XYZ role for a company like blah, blah, blah to land it in to land this job. You can literally ask it any, and I'll show you right now. So I'm gonna go on. This is gonna be quick. So where is screen? I'm gonna log in. Dude, this thing is free. You just log in with your Google account straight up. If you don't use ChatGPT, you're like losing all money. All like all the money you could make. Look at all these things that I do. I'm literally like I wrote my admin guidelines for Muslim professionals to do this. Can you help me write guidelines to best monitor the group? Blah blah blah. What are icebreakers that I can do? Straight up, I'm a cheater and I'm proud. I cheat a lot and it's okay. So watch this. Please give me a few industry standard tactics that for a customer success manager at Iterable for a company like Iterable, right? Just a random company here that I thought of because Honest just joined that I can use during an interview to sound smart. Boom. If you're not doing this, do not hit me up ever with any questions. Straight up. If you're not on ChatGPT, do not hit me up. I will literally be like, yo, I'm not answering your question. If you're in this chat right now, straight up, I'm mean, but like tough love works. If you're not Googling before talking to me, you know what link I'm going to send you? Let me Google this for you.com. I'm going to type in the same damn question you asked me and I'm going to send it back. And then it's going to Google it for you. But straight up, the answer's right here. And this is how we're going to win as an ummah. We teach each other these tactics. Where are the cheat codes? Bro, this is a cheat code. Chat GPT, you saw right off the bat. In under a minute, I got my answer for a job interview. And then what I could do is I can literally follow up and say, convert this into bullet points for a resume or an email. Boom. Now it's going to write these bullet points. And guess what you're going to do in your follow up email after an interview? Hey, thanks for your time. Right? I just wanted to reiterate that this is what I can do for you guys at Iterable, at whatever company. Obviously, read this over and summarize it a little bit, right? Be like, this is what you're getting by hiring someone like me. I give a this proves it to them. Yo, this guy cares, or this girl cares, yo. And they're gonna want to work. They're gonna hire you. I promise you that you will get a job in a month. If you don't have a job right now, you will get it in a month if you just do these intangibles. This is just the that lazy people don't do, or people who don't know. Now, and I'm assuming you guys aren't lazy because you're here right now. Once again, not trying to be offensive. Just tough love. That's how my mom taught me too. Or actually, she used to beat me, but it worked. I love my mom so much. I kiss her every day, or the phone, in person, whatever. Because she did that. I needed it. I dropped out of college. I was a bum. I used to skate with my boys. Like I didn't care about school. So I needed it. All right. Next question. What would you say is a good way to create wealth in your experience for someone starting? Have a side hustle. Have a side hustle on top of your job because your side hustle will give you an MBA. And that MBA that you just taught yourself, you just saved wealth of money from going to school for learning how a business operates. Set up an LLC. Google up how to set up an LLC. Start an LLC. Start a business. Start making money. How to sell your first XYZ product. blah, blah, blah. How does supply chain work? You learn all those things. You go to any interview, you can ask to be a director or a senior role at 27, 28. Dude, I applied as a VP of customer success. I got the interview. My coworker is 42. If I were to take this job, I'm 28. I look old, growing white hair. That's because I just have a little kid and she just keeps me up at night. If I didn't have a kid, I'd probably look a little bit younger, straight up. So if you don't want to look, if you want to look young longer, don't have a kid, but a kid makes you focus. I'm not gonna lie. But like straight up, like it was the side hustle. It was Muslim professionals actually that actually helped me learn how to build a network. I go out and I talk about how to build a network. I don't have to tell them, oh, it's for Muslims, for only for Muslims and blah, blah, blah. But I say I know how to build a network. And these are strategy tactics I did. I didn't know this stuff. I didn't go to school for it. I just Googled up stuff, tried it, it worked. And then I talk about it confidently. Now I can demand more money. So today I just demanded 190,000. The job thing was 140 to 180. I was like, give me 190 and it'll come through. Straight up. That's what you guys got to do. All right. I think Busher has a question. She's raising her hand. Go
I'm
ahead.
really glad that I'm in this session and I'm really loving it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, these things are really important too. Somebody have to stand on your head and say, this is what you need to do. So mine, I think I'm a little bit different from everybody else. I have a job experience. I think my LinkedIn account is really nice because recruiters call me instead of me sending messages to them. But my main problem is, and my experience was, I'm assuming my last project was really good. That's why I get so many calls from the recruiters. My main thing is I have a long gap. And I thought that I can just do certifications and it will help me go back. So I did one certification, seems like it's not enough. I did another certification. I got the highest level of certification in my field. And I have plans, like I'm not that, okay, nothing happening. I have plans what I'm going to do next. I know like I need to do, I'm good with the backend development. I'm working with the front end development too. And I'm planning if nothing comes, I'm planning to make a product myself to show on my resume. And there's one person I'm talking as well. I think he must be really busy. He on and off, like he reply me back, but I wait 10 days and then text him again. Different places I'm trying. But sometimes the recruiters wants to talk to me and sometimes I just feel like, what's the use? Because I know everything goes well and they realize, oh, you have a 22 years of gap and nothing goes after that. And I have people who offered that they can I can put their company names, okay, I work over there to minimize the gap or something. And I know it's not that easy these days to show, oh, I work for this company because I know that my main issue, and for me, like I love whatever I do. I enjoy working and I took a gap.
Busher, is this your, is it okay if I share my screen on your LinkedIn profile?
Sure.
All right. And if I roast it, you're not going to get upset, right?
No, not at all.
Is this your profile?
Oh, yes.
All right. Listen up here. This is for everyone here. Okay. If you have a gap, but you did side projects, you don't have a gap. Okay. What you have to do is you set up your own LinkedIn job company page. Okay.
Mhm.
And I'll show you mine. I did the same thing. I made this. I made this logo in Canva in 2 minutes. Right. And I set up a page and I invited my followers to follow it, made it look like a legit thing. Just because you don't have an LLC doesn't mean you have a company. It's called self proprietorship. You're working for yourself. You're self employed. You don't have a corporation. Okay. You have a job. There's no gap. So don't tell people you have a gap. Simple. Make a thing and say you worked there for 22 years. They're like, you've been working. It's fine. And then you have projects to tell them. So why not? And another thing is you got to fill this stuff out. So here's how you got to detail this out. I do this because the reason why I say all this stuff, it's not to show off once again. I have to say this stuff because the way recruiters work is they index all this. And what they do is there's this thing called, you can save it as a PDF. They send LinkedIn PDFs now. They don't send resumes anymore. A lot of companies don't even send LinkedIn's anymore to the resumes to the hiring managers. I was just in an interview. They didn't even take my resume. Straight up, she was looking at my LinkedIn the whole entire time, the recruiter. And she's, I'll send your profile to the boss.
Yeah, this is
So I
what
was,
exactly they say. And they say, usually seems like there's one person who was really interested and she says, I need to check if the company is okay with the gap. I said,
yeah,
okay,
don't
fine.
show the gap. Do what I did. Look, you're not seeing gaps here. Look,
No.
I even started, look, I made this one too. I literally had a gap. I didn't work anywhere for the 6 months. Besides, I would do 1 or 2 consulting calls here and there. And I put
So
that,
is it okay if I just, one thing which make me concerned is, okay, if I'm doing personally, if I'm doing something contract job or something, I don't need to show,
make your
uh,
own company. I'm telling you, it's so easy. Straight up. I'll show you right now. I will literally show everyone how to do this right now. Right? This is recorded too. So don't hit me up after. Watch the recording. All you got to do is, hold on. Where is it? Where I can set up another page here. Oh, okay, right here. Totally forgot how to set up LinkedIn page. Oh, the work icon. Okay. Someone's messaging. We're going to upload all of our old sessions too. It was Ramadan and we wanted to do Ramadan thing. Oh, right here, company page. Hit that. So I hit business, company page, straight up, and then just put in small business. Boom. Fill this out. Put a random icon. Go on canva.com right now. Sign up for a free account. Create a design and say LinkedIn profile picture, 800 by 800 pixel. Then go straight up to the box. And you see how fast I'm doing this? There's no
right,
excuse. No excuse.
right.
Put a cute little color and then just write some text on it. Boom. Here's the logo,
Yeah,
guys.
I know how to use Canva. So no, okay.
There we go.
My only
So now
concern was,
make a fake company. Don't have any concern. I'm telling you, don't be scared. Because you have work that you've done. You just say you did it under your personal business. You were self-employed. You were a business owner. Now you want to go back into the field. And I'll tell you the reason why. Hey, my family's growing. I don't want to deal with management of employees and contractors and all that. I want to work full time so I can get health insurance. You know what the employer's gonna be? Okay, good reason. Makes sense. What are they gonna say? No,
okay.
health insurance. Why would you want that?
Yeah, no, the only concern was I was thinking like if they check any pay stub or something like that, like my tax or something, if they are checking
No,
if I'm really
you're
working
good.
or not.
There's no way
Okay.
to check. I'll tell you this. I do the hiring stuff at Oracle. I did hiring stuff.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We hire a company in the Philippines to do a freaking Google search on people. And we ask for pay stubs. They don't go anywhere. We just take them. We don't even look at them. So
Okay.
it's all straight up. It
Okay.
costs. Yeah. So the reason why they don't do it because you're like by law, you're not allowed to ask for pay stubs unless it's for a loan
Yeah,
or
it was
credit source.
before. That's the only reason because I know these things have changed in 10, 20 years time. It's a little bit different from before.
Now you can
So
sue people for it. So people ask you, sue them. I don't know how to do it, but I know people sue people for that. I love Sean's enthusiasm. He's just like straight up. I love this. All right. Basrath has a question. I'm gonna pass it over. So
thank you.
Okay, actually got everything here. So like situation is probably different from everybody here. Some are paid different, it's like this one year. And my problem is I don't use social media very well. And then I don't want to finish my PhD and then I am looking for job. I want jobs to find me. And I know that like I can't do that if I don't use my social media page to tell myself again and let people know what I do. So I think I've read some of your chat on WhatsApp that said you could teach like how to use LinkedIn or something. So that's what I'm looking out for from you.
Yeah. So the first thing I would do is use ChatGPT, and it will give you a playbook on what to do on LinkedIn. Use ChatGPT to also ask how to find a job for my major or PhD thing that I'm doing. And you can literally ask it. So I was just showing this before. I'm going to show this really quick again because of how easy it is. If it took me long, I would not be demoing it again. So you set up an account for free, sign up with your Gmail. Okay. I am a biophysics PhD candidate, but I don't want to do this anymore and want to make money. What jobs would you recommend for me? Man, these nerds made this great tool for our disposal. Watch. So nice. I'm sorry to hear you're unhappy. Let me help you out. Great. So now it's telling me a bunch of things that a biophysics PhD could potentially do. Consulting, blah, blah, blah. Now I take that knowledge, I go on LinkedIn and I search for jobs that pertain to those titles that they're giving me. Okay. Then what I do is I look at the job descriptions, right? So we go to jobs and let's say it says product manager, right? Is one of them. I look at this job description. Hey, I'm looking at this. Okay, this is what it's saying. This is what I mean. You know what I do? I take this, right? This opportunity is if you have XYZ, I slap this thing back in here. I want to apply to a job with the following job requirements. These help me write up some template bullet points that I can use for my resume. You don't need to pay someone $1,000, like $10,000 for your damn resume anymore. I don't know why people do that. First off, I never paid for a resume. I would never pay for a resume. It's just such a waste of money. I don't care if you're an enterprise. Oh, bro, how are you an executive if you can't make a resume? You have to write reports all day. This is like the easiest thing ever. And now there's tools to do this. So now literally I took that job description. So look how I did it. First they said, yo, I'm a PhD dropout. What should I do in regards to my field? Then I was like, okay, told me a bunch of jobs. Then I searched those jobs. Then I look at what the job descriptions are. Then I go back here, I put that job description here and say, give me some examples of what I can write on my resume. You can do it for your LinkedIn now. What should I write on my LinkedIn to get a job like this? And then just do it. You don't need to talk to me. I'm just going to yell at you. This thing is nice. Sure, I can help you. I'm going to yell
Yeah,
at you
thank you,
straight up.
Sean.
But because that's how I am. My mom yelled at me too. That's how I work. If people yell at me, I work better. And I do that to other people too. But you see how easy this is? If you just think about it in a different way, stop relying on
Yeah.
someone else. Rely on what's available out there already for free on the internet. It's all
Yeah.
there. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank
All right. We got Hyder. He's got a question.
So my question, hi, Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Hyde and I'm a full-time student right now. I'm 22 years old. I started like an e-commerce brand. It's called slideelite.com. It's like a footwear brand. I'm really trying to like market this, but nothing's really working out. But my question to you, Zohaib, is what are like the 3 mistakes or 3 things you could have done differently in your life, just like in general?
Yeah. The first one is relying on other people waiting for them. That's a waste of time because I would always be like, oh, I'll go to the movies if I have two other people going with me. I'll go on this vacation if someone else comes with me. You see the trend? Now you're making a mental model in your brain to only do things if someone else does it with you. Makes you a bum, straight up. You don't do anything then. Your life never moves forward. Even me and my wife doesn't want to do something. We just have a thing where I don't want to do something. We just have an agreement like, hey, if I'm feeling a little down today, but you want to do whatever you want to do, go do it. I'm never going to stop you. If it's something that has to be done with us together, then yeah, obviously. But why are you going to stop yourselves? That's one. I did that so much throughout college, high school. I didn't study for my SATs until I had a partner to study with. I got a freaking 1200 out of 2400. I was a bum. And then when I studied with someone and all that, then I got a freaking 1980 a 2400. I didn't get into a good school. I was an okay SAT score in like the Brown standard. But like, why did I wait? I should have studied myself. That's one. Two, I didn't invest in myself. Like, I would just save up money, put it in my bank. Why am I doing that? I could have started a business 10 years ago. My guy, you're 22 and you started a shoe business or footwear business, right?
Yeah.
Commerce.
Yeah, it's just a drop shipping business model. Also, I invested in a few companies. Terra Motors, it's like a solar powered car company, which is, I feel like it's going to blow up in the future. It doesn't require charge. So it charges by the sun, basically. And it has solar panels around the car. So I invested in that company. Also, an investment in, it's not a big amount, but it's something I thought of doing in my 20s.
Yeah.
It's called Boxable. It's like,
You're doing this already. You're doing all the things I wish I did. I
yeah,
wish I
but
invested
I
in
wanted to,
22.
I wanted to take it to a bigger level and scale it. But as an international student, you are limited to everything in this country. Also, I'm really ambitious, but everyone is doing it, but I just don't know the correct part. And recently I was working in,
You're 22.
you won't believe people are doing so big things in front
So
of you.
who cares?
But
Bro,
it's
I'm
always you
28.
have to
Bro,
let
Mark
people
Zuckerberg
above
is
you, as you
35.
said.
I know. Mark Zuckerberg is 35, bro. He's a billionaire. I'm
Yeah.
28. I have no trajectory to get there. My guy started Facebook at 20, right? I'm a bum compared to him, but it's okay because it's
No,
relative.
I'm always
Yeah.
thankful and I always say Alhamdulillah. That's like a good part. Like I learned, like my parents taught me to always say Alhamdulillah. But I always try to look up also to the people above and see what am I
And
missing.
that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah. And I do the
Um,
same. It's always good to do that. It's always good
uh,
to do that.
yeah, like for my example, like I had a job in tech sales and I was selling phones, I was repairing phones and I was upselling, I was reaching every milestone my company was, but it closed down in 3 months ago. So from that time till now, like I read like articles in self-development, how you can like freelance and make money sitting at home, and you should like how to read more self-development books and
You know what
like,
you should do?
yeah.
And this is a hint to everyone. Sign up
Uh-huh.
for Wix or sign up for Webflow, whatever. You build a landing page for yourself, a website, right? Use YouTube to figure it out. Super easy. Use Canva to get your logos and designs and all that. Where there's a bunch of AI tools now that you could develop a logo and start pretending like you're a big business. I'll tell you this, Muslim professionals, there's only 200 people last August. Now it's almost 3,000 people on our email list. All right. Now I'm getting hit up from Muppies, AMP, ICNA, Helping Hands, blah, blah, blah. Hey, can we partner with your organization? It's all a facade, though. They think it's bigger than it is. It ain't that big. But my focus was, yo, I want to make this look luxury. I focused on the branding. Make your look better than you are.
I saw your brand Insaan on your LinkedIn. Yeah, you just showed it right now. You did like from 500 investment to like you took it to $70,000 in just 7 months.
I literally made $300,000 the first year.
Wow, that's amazing.
And
And
I
you
took
were right about
one
your
customer.
job on groups. Oh my God.
I cry about everything. I want health insurance. I want to be rich. I'm sorry. It's okay to want money.
Just,
Because if I don't make money, then how's the Mustard's gonna get basketball courts?
wow, Marshall. That's,
Right?
yeah.
If we don't have if the ladies don't make money, how are you guys gonna have power at the Mustard to be like, bro, I don't want to read namaz in the damn basement anymore? That's why we all need to make money. We all cry. Like we all say, oh, why does the Mustard have this, that? It's because they don't have money.
Yeah.
They don't have shit. And then the guys who have money, they make all the rules. If you have money, you can make the rules. That's how it is. Politicians don't do shit either. They're puppets. We pay them to do shit for us. This is how it is. We have to be real with it. Abu Bakr, richest Muslim in the lands, man. The guy was donating camels to everyone, and he still had mad camels. It's just how it is. All right. Hopefully that answers your question. It's all facade. You just got to make yourself look the part. This is the big problem Muslims do. They half-ass everything and they get cheap with the branding and the marketing. Don't be cheap with the branding and marketing. Spend money on that more so than your product itself. I promise you, your customer demographic shouldn't be Muslims. It should be your product is so sexy that white people want to buy that shit. And once white people want to buy that shit and want to buy that shit, then you're profitable. And then you know what's happening? You're bringing that money back into our ecosystem, the Muslim ecosystem. That's when you win. I know Mohammed's got a question. I know we got to wrap this up because I know it's over
Sure.
time. But how do you keep yourself motivated or have no regrets about the career path you've chosen? Because everything you do in life and you make a mistake, as long as you learn from that mistake, is it really a mistake in the first place? Or is it a textbook class? It's freaking life 101 that you just took. And that's how I started doing it. Man, I make mistakes with my wife every day, but then I learn from it and then I fix it. And then we fight less. And then I'm like, great, I guess I'm doing something right. Atomic Habits is a great book. I have it. It's in my room. If you want a book to read, that's a great book. The Power of Habit is another one. And I would read, honestly, David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell, or read the Quran straight up. Start going to halakas, yo. I literally find majority of my analogies from the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad, right? Or the seerah of all these other prophets, and all that. And also basketball, straight up. Read about LeBron James, bro. My guy came out of the hood. He's running. He's on every commercial. Read about Shaquille O'Neal. Read about Michael Jordan. Our stories are not as bad as theirs. All right. So they made it though. They could have been shooting up people and joining gangs and stuff. We don't have that. We're brown. We're model minority. All right. Yes, there are African American Muslims. I'm not talking about the ones from Africa. I'm talking about straight up African American Muslims that are in the hood. But so they have it harder. Us brown Muslims, like Pakistani Indians, we cry way too much. Straight up. I'll be honest. Our parents are doctors and you guys are driving Beamers in college. I never understood that logic. I had friends that were driving Beamers in college. Their parents were paying their gas. I was like, bro, my parents were like, bro, buy your own car, you bum. Okay. My dad had money to pay for it. But it was just like, if you don't do it, you won't understand the struggle I went through as a kid. I was like, bet. All right. If you are a parent, please do not spoil your kid. Let them work. It's okay. Make them deal with the pain and whatever. Because there's people in our WhatsApp group that graduated from Harvard that are reaching out to me on how to get a job, and they're 2 years graduated. They went to Harvard. They went to UPenn. Okay. And they're sitting twiddling their thumbs. It's not an education crisis. It's I am a bum crisis. All right. And I don't know how to get out of it because my parents spoiled the shit out of me. All right. Wrapping up on time here. sorry if I cursed a lot. Sorry if I was aggressive or mean.